So you can just message me anytime. That work for you?
At work.
Awesome. So what got you interested in coaching?
Well, I know you asked these questions, so I was thinking
Mm-hmm.
about it. Honestly, I watched a lot of Stylosa's overanalyzed stuff years,
Ah,
and I've been around for a while, and I've watched Stylosa for a long time, and I realized the benefit of his overanalyzed series. Like it improved certain things I was doing. So I just started looking around, and over the years, I've watched, Stylosa,
mm-hmm.
Jane, you.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, if I can ever afford it, I'm gonna get some coaching.
Well, glad to have you here. Glad to have you here. I mean, Stylosa was the OG. I remember watching his VODs back when I was first starting getting into the game. They overanalyzed specifically. That really got me into the game. I remember I even tried to get coached by him, but you remember you had to send in the email or whatever, and I was like, crap, I'm never gonna get coached. It didn't end up happening, but those were the man. I love those videos so much.
Yeah,
I
I
miss
did it.
those.
I applied to get coached twice and was never picked. So, I kind of did the whole dodgeball thing and just sat in the corner.
Yep, same, same, same,
Yep.
same. But yeah, I remember that. Those were like the first VODs really out there. Like that was a long time even before Jane, really. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it really was. I realized the benefit of it, like, that what's the plan? I still have his voice and his accent in the back of my head going, what's
yep,
the plan?
yeah. I distinctly remember there's some Genji VOD on. I think it was I involved attack first, and he was picking on the Genji for not doing Genji things. He's like, "Yo, you're a cyborg ninja. Position like a cyborg ninja," you know. But yeah, anyway, long story short, I still hear that in my brain. And shout out to Silosa. Does he even still do? Like, I was on a podcast with him not too long ago, but I actually haven't checked his channel in a while. It makes me wonder.
He does a lot of Helldivers content now, but he's still putting out the occasional Overwatch video. I haven't seen a new Overanalyzed in a while, and I kind of wish he'd go back to it because he's actually really pleasant to listen to, too.
He is. He is. He's a very personable guy. I think people kind of get a negative impression for him from some of his like Overwatch criticisms, but he's actually such a nice guy. Uh, but yeah, anyway, okay. Well, getting some coaching. Glad you're here. What do you hope to get out of the session? You say, I'd like to have a better idea of where I really am lacking and the best ways to practice. Sounds good. And at the time of the form, you were a gold 3 DPS. Is that still the case or somewhere around there?
I actually mistyped that. I was a uh gold 3. I placed in season 9 at silver 5. I don't know why I put gold 3.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay.
Since then, I've dropped all the way down to bronze 1, and I'm slowly clawing back up. I am now silver 4.
I gotcha. I see silver 4 DPS, silver 2 support. Okay, so it makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. Basically, your form says you've just been playing the game for a long time, and you're like, I've been playing this game for too long to be mediocre at it, especially for how much I enjoy it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's exactly right. Like I've
Okay.
been playing since beta and competitive since season 5 off and on. So
Yeah. Yeah. To me though, it's funny. I had another session yesterday with Sushi, one of the streamers, and I was talking with her about it, and we were discussing like why do you want to rank up, and she said something similar to you. Now she's kind of like the pro streamer thing, and so she's like Masters 5, but she's like, I've been playing this game for so many hours. Why am I Masters 5, right? And I've worked with players that are even GM1. I've been playing this game so many times. Why have I not hit rank 1? And I just hear that same question being said from every rank all over the spectrum. And I guess for me is it's like if you're having fun, then why do you have like this inner sense of like I need to be doing better? You kind of see what I'm saying?
yeah, well, that sort of brings me to the next point. Like
Please.
I'm working ahead on your sheet, but
Yeah.
I am one of those folks that, I enjoy Overwatch. I play a lot of, like, my time in Overwatch. I have around 2,000 hours, and I
Mm-hmm.
think 1,400 of that is in quick play.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
And I just enjoy the game. I enjoy every character for different reasons, even the ones I hate, like Bastion and Tor. Uh,
Right.
but it's one of those things where I just want to get better. I want to be part of the community that isn't all toxicity and oh, kill yourself, your mom did this, your mom
Right.
did
Right.
that, right?
Right. 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 And you find that more often in lower ranks?
Very much so. I think since I started taking comps seriously around season 5 in Overwatch 2, the amount of threats to unalive myself have been ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I found it as well. When I was in bronze, silver, and gold, it was a lot more toxic. People left games more. I think it's like one of those things where it's like, if that's the type of person that you are, you're more likely to be bad at the game because obviously that mentality is not conducive to improving yourself. I mean, there's toxicity all through the ranks, but it definitely does pollute lower ranks more for sure. Okay, okay. You're just wanting to improve. You just want to improve. You want to move on, and it sounds like a little bit like you want the quality of the game to be better by ranking up a little bit too.
yeah.
And that's definitely true. I mean, I think that that's a small percentage better. Like going from bronze, like let's say to gold, right? Your game quality is going to improve only like slightly, right? But it will improve. So, okay. Goals here. Let's see here. Short-term goals, better on Tracer, transferable to other characters, yada, yada, yada. This is the big one. Long-term goals, you say build a knowledge base capable of bringing up my other rules at the same point and maybe masters long-term. Also, since I stream, being able to talk about why I'm doing something would be beneficial and to do better with retaining with repetition. So just kind of like understanding like what you're doing in the game more.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I try to do the self coaching and the review and stuff like that, and I just can't see where I'm screwing up.
Right.
I'm a heavy stats guy, right? So I'm always
Yep.
looking at like the top 500 and comparing their tracer, their tracer metrics to mine, and the numbers look identical, but obviously because they're top 500, I'm obviously doing something wrong.
Right. Exactly. The problem is the statistics are always relative to what you're doing or who you're
Mhm.
competing versus, right? So like there's two things that are holding you back from improving. One is what you don't know. What you don't know, you need to be taught so that you know what to do better. But this is the thing that people don't understand is the negative habits that you have that are actively holding you back. It's not that they're neutral, that you don't know what you don't know. It's negative things that are holding you back. And I'm going to be frank with you. As a stats guy myself, right? I grew up as a teenager being obsessed with football and football cards, man. Like American football. Like I freaking love cards and I compare stats and I'd do like tier lists and I was obsessed. But the problem is that even in sports, stats can be a little misleading, but certainly in esports, certainly in video games. Because the problem is that there are certain playstyles and ways of thinking about the game that will maximize your statistical quality and minimize your actual impact on the battlefield.
That
And
makes sense.
while that is, a short-term way to give you a little bit of a dopamine hit, the problem is it doesn't win games. And there's even myths out there. I won't say who, but the other day I heard something from a pretty well-known community member coach in the Overwatch community saying something about like how low ranks it's good to focus on improving your stats. That is actually such bad advice because not only is it not good long term, it's not even good short term because the game doesn't factor in your stats and hasn't since Overwatch 1. In fact, I just to double check, I actually messaged Gavin Winter a couple of weeks ago. I was like, hey, you guys don't factor stats into like MMR. And he's like, no. He's like, no, wins, losses, that's it. Hasn't been the case in like over 2 years.
Wow.
So you just need to win games. And so you got to look
Yeah.
at like what you're doing to win games. Like what are those intangibles, right? But it's tricky because like stats are so fun, They are so fun to analyze. But that's my
Well,
advice.
yeah, like back in the day when I started suffering like my comp anxiety and stuff like that,
Yeah,
I read
yeah.
something, I want to say it was on like tracer mains or something, that you should have like a 35% accuracy with tracer
Yeah.
and like 8 or 9% crit accuracy.
Yeah.
So I've been shooting for that and I'm
Literally.
there.
Right.
Yeah, I'm literally
Uh-huh.
I'm there and I'm like, well, nothing's really improved other
Right.
than, I have people yelling at me because I'm a pain in the
Right.
ass.
Right. Let me give you like a good analogy. I see this with people that are like trying to like let's say they're trying to lift heavy or they're trying to lose weight or something along those lines. They'll be like, hey, I lost 10 pounds. I'm like, what did you do? Well, I didn't eat for 24 hours, or it's like, or I went and like I sweated it out at a bath. Like, it's like, bro, that's not fat. That's just water weight, right? Like your weights fluctuates crazy. And even like, oh, I deadlifted 400 pounds. I look at their back and their spine looks like the letter S. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, congratulations. Like you're screwed yourself up. Like you need to be process oriented with what you're doing and the stats will take care of themselves, right? So you need to be playing objectively well. And if you don't know what that is, like that's the problem that we need to be focusing on. Now, you talked a little bit about your comp anxiety. And you
Yes.
also talked about season 5 was when you started to actually take things more seriously. What happened around season 5 that like flipped the switch for you to like, I'm not going to be just a quick play warrior. I'm going to try to rank up a little bit. What happened?
Well, the story's a little bit longer than that because I've been around a while. But
Of course.
season 5, I started with Mercy.
Yep.
And I placed Masters, I think. I can't, like 2,800, I think. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, this is amazing. 5-man res, go,
Yep.
and easy win. Uh, the next season, I tried to branch out and play Rhine, and that's where the toxicity hit. And I
Mm-hmm.
took a break for about 15 seasons.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was bad enough. Like I would play with my speakers on, not my headphones, and I actually have to apologize to my wife for some of the things said in voice chat.
Oof. Oof.
Yeah, so I muted voice chat and just continued on doing the quick play thing. I do suffer from anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
so for me, it was like, oh my god, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I watched a little bit of oh god, I Sparkle from the Dallas Fuel. I
Yep.
watched his battle back and forth during, I think it was season 4 of OWL, and I decided, hey, I'm gonna try Tracer. It's the one tune I haven't played.
Yep.
And since then, I have spent an embarrassing amount of time on Tracer to the amount of almost double any of my other characters.
Mm.
Honestly, I'm Canadian, so I'd just smoke a joint, disassociate, and play Tracer.
Makes sense. Yeah, I mean Tracer has so much skill expression too. There's a reason why she's popular.
It's one of those things that when I have an anxiety attack or something like that, I can jump on Tracer and she takes so much of my attention that everything else just melts away, and that's really
Right.
soothing for me. So I
Good.
figured, why not? I'm doing incredibly well in quick play. Let's try comp. And my first foray into comp was with Tracer was around, I want to say, season 20, and I've played off and on since then, but I've never really gotten past the late bronze, mid silver sort of a rank.
Right, right. Okay, 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 okay. Makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I was with you on the Mercy to Ryan transition back in Overwatch 1. In fact, I did the same thing. Uh, I did not even want to play Mercy. It just felt like I was just like right around Mercy. We were like season 7 and then transition to Ryan and then there's a lot of toxicity and that definitely burned me out. I remember having to deal with so much of that stuff and I was a hard commer at the time and it like really made competitive really unpleasant, right? So for me, like I think the question is when you come back into Overwatch 2 and now you're taking things more seriously with rank, what made you start to get back into it? Was it just Tracer? Hey, I like this character. Let's see if I can get better with Tracer. Or was it something more global with you?
I think it's one of those things. Like I mentioned, I was a streamer. I mostly play competitive games and have since the late 90s. I
Mm-hmm.
started with tab target MMOs, and I've played
Yep.
some
Welcome to
form
the
of
club.
PvP. Yep. And I've played some form of PvP in one way or another. And I just thought to myself, after a run on one of these older games, I was like, why the hell am I not doing this in Overwatch? It's
Right.
bite-sized competitiveness, and that is my jam.
Right.
uh,
Right.
I'm just not as competitive as I'd like to be because in these other games I excel. I'm known, people know who I
Yep.
am, and of course it's going to be a little bit of ego, right? I want
Of
people to go,
course.
"Oh, holy crap."
Yeah.
But at the same point, my own brain goes, there is no, only win, right? Like
Right.
that lizard brain, right? And I
Right.
think that's really what it is. It's part of that wanting to achieve, but having my anxiety going, but what if we don't?
Right, exactly. Exactly. It might also be that like because the anxiety starts to kick in because there's such a priority on the achievements that when you all of a sudden ran into a game where it wasn't coming quite so easily, your anxiety was like more protecting your ego because you just didn't want to have to deal with a failure over and over again.
Yes, and I understand that all. I also, I'm even resigned, and I know that's likely not the case because everyone can improve. But I'm resigned to, if this is where I am and this is where my level of competitiveness is, then so be it. But at
Sure.
least I know that now. I'm
Yeah.
I'm not looking to be like, oh my god, I'm going to be, the next Happy or whatever.
Yeah.
But I would like to be competitive at a level where I feel good about the matches that I've had, and I'm making too many mistakes and dying far too much for that to be the case.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay. Well, let's really keep the pivot on to just explaining what you need to know, breaking bad habits, and we'll see if the rank goes up. We'll see if the rank goes down. If nothing else, at least you'll feel like you have more ownership of like what's exactly going wrong, rather than just feeling like totally lost in the sauce. Right.
100%.
Okay. Okay. Seems good. I'm hoping to get some insight in overall mentality, gameplay, positioning, and even mechanics, as well as my anxiety. Truthfully, even pulling the trigger in this coaching session was anxiety inducing. Right. I mean, there's this pressure, right? Like, there's always pressure. I mean, even the competitive music of getting into gamers, the BAM! I remember, like, as, like, my first several seasons, I mean, it's terrifying. I mean, I was so scared. I truthfully didn't queue rank like for like once per week, and I had to make sure like I was warm, I was fully focused and everything back in the day. And it got to the point to where I realized that I wanted to improve so badly that I just kind of made myself play ranked. And what ended up happening is it actually got to the point to where I wasn't as nervous about ranked because I'd played it so much, and I started to all of a sudden notice. I remember I went distinctly like this was a few weeks in. I woke up one day and I was like, oh, ranked, that'll be fun. And I was like, wait, what? It's actually fun. Like, I'm actually not too worried about it. And it just came through repetition, right? Now, I'm not you. I'm not you. My mentality is different than yours, and everyone has their own battles to go with. But I think for you, it's going to be going into ranked as frequently as you can. Treat it just like quick play. Set goals. Don't worry about the rank. Don't worry about the stats. Just play the game, as best as you can. That has to be at least the end goal. Now, how you get there, that's gonna be more in your ballpark.
Yep, I got to figure that out. I get.
I think what you might want to do is set the just I think what do they always say, like just floss one tooth,
I think I've heard that. Yeah.
Just play a game. Just get in there and make it like 5 days a week, 3 to 4 hours you're playing total. But all you don't need to play ranked for 3 to 4 hours. Why don't you just play you warm up, play one ranked game, and then play quick play after that?
Yeah, like last night with my stream, I did 10 matches and I went 4 wins, 6 losses.
Sure.
And, it was fun. There were great matches, but there were also a couple of real impressive steamrolls. And it was like the first 2 matches of the day were a loss. And I try to keep the positive mentality. I'm not a toxic person.
Yeah.
But it's very, very hard after being crushed. Like, you're an extra in a Conan movie.
Right.
The lamentations of their women sort of a thing.
Exactly. But the difference is you respawn. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and the reason why that's important is because like when everything is on the line, like let's say that you're playing for the NBA championship, there's not really going to be a next time likely. So there's a lot of, but that's what makes ranked special is like legitimately, I was doing a session yesterday, doing some live coaching. And there's a lever in the first minute, like right after the game won't cancel, right? So they were going to get penalized. Mm-hmm. But I stayed in her ear and I'm like, what angle should you take? What angle should you take? What angle should you take, right? And so we actually got a little bit of value out of those wasted 2 or 3 minutes, right? We still were like thinking and then the review's over and we're like, okay, what do you think about that angle? Like we had no expectations to win. Like we knew it was over. It was just frustrating, the SR or whatever. But like what we did is it was a productive 2 or 3 minutes. And that's kind of your goal as well, is in these steamrolls, no matter what direction they're going. Ask yourself, like, what am I getting out of this? Right? What am I getting out of this?
Yeah.
And if you can answer that question, then you're cooking. Because it's not just about playing for the win. Because playing for the win means that 50% of your games are going to be a waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I look at it.
No, that makes sense.
Question is just what are you playing for? And we haven't really answered that question yet. We don't know what's wrong with your tracer, so we don't really have anything to aim for. So when you don't have goals, then you are only playing to win. And if you're only playing to win, then half the game's going to suck.
Yeah.
Okay. Goals here, build up a knowledge base. We talked about that. What do you feel is holding you back from improving? Honestly, I think it's a mixture of being overly aggressive, anxiety, and a lack of being able to see the big picture. We've talked about some of those things, but talk to me about being overly aggressive. So what do you mean by that specifically?
I am all gas, no brakes. That's just the way I play games. I find with Tracer, like I'll take a heavy off angle, or I'll go all the way around the back on an engage, and I just go until I'm out of resources. And I try to see how long I can survive, because the longer I'm being a pain in the ass to their backline, the more chance my team has to maybe eliminate their tank or one of their DPS.
Right.
I'm, taking on a 2v1 or a 3v1 seems to happen more often than I'd like. And I don't want to say I don't understand it, but my brain just goes, we have to hit the gas and keep going. There's no disengage for me.
Right, right, right. Okay, okay. Well, let's channel that energy. Like let's channel that energy. I think like obviously there'll be some points where we're like, okay, that's just silly, that's just stupid. But I think that if you have that like desire to just push, 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 damage, damage, pop off, pressure, carry, whatever. Like let's use that little bit of energy. Like let's see what we can do about it, and we'll educate that energy to be a little bit more intelligent with how you're approaching things, but I don't think we need to like stop doing that. Just figure out how you need to be doing it better.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think the risk versus reward, the problem is that when I push too aggressively, I'm dying too much. So survivability is 100% the issue, I think.
Right, right. Okay. Yeah. I don't really have anything else from your forum. Do you have any other questions for me?
I think I'm good. And
All right.
yeah,
Shoot me over one of those replay codes and we'll take a look here.
sure. Okay, it's double X as in Xavier,
Yep.
G as in Gordon, Y as in yellow,
Yep.
K as in knife, and N as in November.
Got it. All right. Let me get that Discord stream started.
This also features an incredibly embarrassing moment where my brain just completely locks itself.
Happens to everybody. Even pros. It's just a matter of how often does it happen and how bad is the result when it does happen. Okay. So we kind of already talked about this. We've been dancing around it throughout the entirety of our discussion. But what does Tracer do? What is Tracer's strengths? What are Tracer's weaknesses? Is there anything recently you've been practicing with Tracer? And so on.
So Tracer is best at harassing solo targets or backlines, basically just being an annoying POS. My job is to take an off or deep angle and basically add pressure as my team engages, which I think is part of the problem. I don't read our engages very well. If there's something else I'm missing, please let me know.
No, yeah, totally fine. Take an angle, pressure solos if you can. If not, just pressure whoever's there. And then, like you said, the timing aspect of things is really, really important. And certainly when you're asking me, like, you know, how do I, like, channel my aggression better, that's probably the first thing that came to mind. So I am curious to see how that goes this.
There was a widow up here that was tagged.
Yeah. So I'm noticing something here. There's just a little, like, remember we talked about this, is like what you are failing at or what you're succeeding at is going to be a collection of things that you do know and things that you don't know, right? So there's going to be some teaching today. But a large portion of my coaching is generally going to be addressing and noticing and then offering advice on how to correct habits.
Beautiful.
Right? Like you when I asked you how to play Tracer, you gave me like pretty good feedback there. So the question is what is that gap between what you know and what you do and how can we address that? Like right now, you said, I'm going to go take an angle on this Widow. Yeah, exactly. But Widow's dead.
Yes.
And you did not know that. I could see it in your body language. You didn't know that. So the question is what does the normal person do that allows them to be aware of Widow being dead? Kill feed, right? Why are you not aware of the kill feed? Is it because you're tunneling on the angle? Are you not normally paying attention to the kill feed? Maybe. Do you have any guesses here?
I know I don't look at the kill feed near as much as I probably should. A lot of it is like when you're in the thick of it or I'm focused on heading for someone.
Yes.
I never think to look at the kill feed, and I know that's a habit that I need to break.
And you said the right word. You said the S word, right, or the H word rather. Habit, right? You said habit. That is exactly what needs to be done. Because this right here, the fact that you've decided on this choice is good, but there's not enough happening on your screen to justify you not looking at the kill feed right now. So this is a problem. And you know, even though it's happened once, it's a concerning problem. Have you tried? Where is it? I swear there's a setting for a notification here. Yes, you see this? Under sound controls, play sound when enemy or teammate eliminated. I have these to off because I'm pretty good with kill feed. You might want to turn these to on.
I actually have them on.
Okay. All right. Practice paying attention to the cues. Practice paying attention to the cues. So what I want you to do then is let's go ahead and make note of this really quick here. Number one, spend games practicing paying attention to kill feed and making decisions around that information. So you might go into a game and you don't actually even practice necessarily off angles or timing, or all you do is you listen and you look for kill feed stuff. You just play Tracer normally, you just turn your brain off on that and you just play Tracer. But what I want you to do is, okay, Widow's dead. Now what do I do?
Oh.
Right? I don't know.
Yep.
Maybe you keep going. Maybe you drop down. I don't know. Just practice not just reading the kill feed, but making a decision with that information. And that's all you do for the entire game. That's all you do.
Makes sense.
That's a habit that we need to work on. That's a skill that we need to work, because that's a very, very powerful skill, and one that a lot of the time that we take for granted. Now, I will say, ignoring the kill feed, I really, really, really like your angle here. This is good. The setup is good. Good stuff. The only problem here is in your tenacity to shoot the pylon, what angle do you go from, and what angle do you end? Do you see the problem here?
Yeah, I basically not sandwich myself. It's more of an open face sandwich.
Yeah, exactly. You do. What should you have done positioning wise instead? Where should you have stayed?
I probably should have stayed up top and just waited. Yeah.
Sure. Or even if you drop, just stay here. So obviously this is only one fight, so let's not draw major conclusions from this. But I do think that's probably a problem, that you need to stay on the outside of the fight. Stay on the angle. So stay on the angle. Be cautious about ending up in the middle of the fight. That's another habit that when you're shooting, your brain is just focusing on breaking that pylon. You're not thinking at all where I am or where I'm holding. That's a habit you need to improve.
Okay.
Okay. Like the angle here. It's good. Notice what you're doing. You're staying on the angle. That's just unfortunate. So what do you think, was this a major mistake, or is this just a good shot from the Ash?
I think it was just a good shot from the Ash and Illari.
I agree. So I think that we could dig into this one and be like, your movement wasn't super good. Maybe you pushed a little bit too far out of the choke. But frankly, I'm not super concerned. There's not really a habit that we could pull from that, so we don't worry about it. And I think that's important for you, is sometimes mistakes are just goofy errors and we move on. Don't worry about it too much. Right. What do you think? Angle here good? Timing good? What do you think?
I think I picked the angle right. I think maybe the timing is a little bit too soon because the rest of my team is all grouped around that back corner.
Yeah, maybe a little bit too soon, but it's not too bad. You also rotate to another angle for a better target. This is pretty good. I like this. This is good. Look at that. You even recognize, hey, they're all looking at me, so I'm going to chill for a second. That's good. Now, what's the problem here?
I'm not mid-range. I'm a little too far.
You got it. Man, you're all over yourself. Every time I have a question, you have the answer immediately.
I'm my own worst critic, so...
Well, no, I'm not even saying that's necessarily a bad thing. Now, maybe you are your own worst critic, but I'm saying you are a smart player. You know what you're doing. You've been playing this game for a long time. So then fix the angle for me. Where do you go?
I could have maybe spent a blink and headed a little more towards the Bolettos there.
You got it.
To shorten the angle a little.
You got it. You got it. No critiques. Perfect answer. Now, it's still okay. You're still distracting. You're still harassing. That still pulls resources away. But because you were too far... Oh, she wanted you. Yeah, there you go. This is good. No critiques. Good timing on the angle. Good patience.
That Illari actually accused me of aimbotting and threatened to send me to flats, so...
What?
She literally said, would flats find anything wrong with this if I was to send him the VOD?
Oh my days. I tell you, competitive players are another animal. Okay.
Yes.
Good stuff. I think you're setting strong points. So we've been criticizing you a lot. Staying on the angle, keep an eye on being too far on your angle. So let's talk about what you've done well. Target priorities looks good. I like the pylon priority, looking for squishies whenever you can. And also, you've done a really good job about choosing which angle to go to, with the exception of that little bit in that last fight with a little bit too far. You've not been sitting on your tank. You've been staging. Even first fight when you lost track of the Widow, but you were going for her, right? And that was definitely the play. So Good stuff. Any questions so far?
No, I think that actually it takes care of some of my issues I was wondering about my target selection. So if it's good, I'm happy with it.
No, that seems fine to me. I think for me, the priority is generally like what's the best angle I can take, and then choose what you can from there. But I think overall, I've had no problems here, and even your timing hasn't been too bad. Now this, okay,
That was bad.
I jinxed you. Okay, that's my fault. You know, I shouldn't have said anything. Okay, but why was it bad?
Well, to be honest, I just completely forgot that the spawn was there. I went way too deep, and I remember saying to my stream at that point, I was like, "Yeah, that was dumb."
I mean, it's dumb, but it's dumb. Let's try and find something.
The good
Closer to
part
home.
about it is it kept them back enough that they
Yes.
were able to cap the point.
Yes, but see, that's exactly the problem. Is that your team isn't actually engaged at the same time.
Yes.
So, like, yeah, spawn, and you're also not in an angle, but also you're literally fighting by yourself. That's just a mistake.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's your timing issue that we talked about earlier. Where should you go?
Up here or
You know
across.
it. You know it. You know it. Good try. Oh man, you almost got her too. I thought you were gonna
Almost.
actually stick her. I thought you were gonna stick her. Okay, coach yourself on the basics here. What do you think about the angle? What do you think about the timing? The range?
I think all of those things kind of tick the boxes.
Yeah, yeah.
My biggest thing here was just missing the stick. If I'd have been able to get that Alari, it might have ended differently.
Yeah, yeah, and frankly, it's you're by the time you got there, your tank was dead as well, no, which isn't your fault, but you're playing a man down. You're playing a man down, and beyond that, that's all right. No big problems. You check the basic boxes.
I should have
Good.
gone up the stair.
Yeah, but at least you're on an angle. And you are going upstairs. Ash too far, so you change your angle. What do you think? Looks good, right?
I'm happy with.
I am too. Good stuff. This rotation as well. Good stuff. Good shots here. Now she's off of high ground. Now she's not doing anything. Where should she rotate from here?
Maybe over to the right and down the stairs a little to pressure the Zen.
Yeah. Even deeper here, right? Exactly. Okay. Oh my gosh, what a shot. You got two tapped. One thing that you can practice here, and this is something that I highly recommend you incorporating. Well, okay, let's go back a little bit. Do you have a warm-up?
I usually do either one match of quick play just to feel the superiority. I'm kidding. Or I will join the try-hard free-for-all lobby and have my spirits crushed.
Okay, two harsh and extremes. One is probably not all that useful. One is absolutely demotivating.
Yep.
Do unranked deathmatch. That would be my recommendation.
Okay.
And I want you to go into that mode with the intention of doing one or two things. One is to win every single duel. And two is to blink and juke every single shot. You actually go in there, you're not even necessarily trying to like clip and pop off one clip, but just don't let anybody shoot you. I want your 80-80 strafing, I want your blink movement, I want you fully dialed in and juking those shots. Does that make sense?
It does.
So I'm going to drop that one. Warm up with the intention of juking every shot with blinks, strafes, unranked deathmatch. Great. I might have you do some live coaching through Discord through a deathmatch at the end of this session if you're cool with it.
Sure, I can do that.
I think that would benefit a lot because this is again you're checking the basic boxes, right? But you're losing duels. And the most of the time you're losing these duels, not because your positioning is bad or your timing is bad, it's because your movement is very basic. You're not blinking very well, and so it's making you easier to kill than you should be.
Okay, that's fair.
Good setup here. This is where sometimes, even though this isn't the optimal angle, it's good enough. So if you see an opportunity to shoot from here, this is okay. Whereas rotating here is the better angle, but it might take you too long to get there.
Okay.
That being said, I don't think it's a major issue. You're on an angle. You're at the right time. Good. Yeah, I think your team was just dead at this point. Okay, let's keep going. Like the angle here. Good trying the pulse. Good job. Again, the angle is good. The damage is good. Getting close. Good. Again, you see it. It's your angle is good. Your timing is good. Everything is great. It's just you're getting yourself caught out continually because you're dying with blinks or recall or whatever because you're just too darn easy to shoot. Now, I will say this comp is going to punish you harder than most comps for that. You got a Zen, you got an Ibiari, you have an Ashe. These guys are going to either one-shot you or come pretty darn close to it, right? So you make one mistake, you're dead. But also this is the comp that if they make one mistake, do you see like how much attention you get? They're so fragile, right? They're so fragile, right? So it's going to be very punishing in either direction. And the good news with Tracer is that Tracer scales better the better you get in these matchups. The better you get, the better movement you get. Even if their aim gets better, you're gonna be better at winning these duels. And you see it again here, right? The angle's fine, maybe a little close, but you're just a little too predictable with how you move. You kind of move in a straight line. I want you to look at how you move here from their perspective. So right after this recall, check this out. Kind of all in one direction. You blink out, and then watch your movement here. Shoot, 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 shoot. You're like one of those training bots in the practice range. You know what I'm saying? Where like, even though your hitbox is smaller, you're moving consistently in one direction, which makes you very easy to punish.
Gotcha. Okay.
This is why stats suck. Because you look at this and your deaths are very high. What is this, 8 deaths now, probably? But but has your positioning been bad? Has your timing been bad? Nah, it's been all right, right? It's been your movement. Because the stats don't give you context on anything, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Any questions so far?
No, I think you've narrowed it down pretty well. Like, I'm looking at things a little differently now.
Good, 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 good. I really am pleased with your understanding of the game, I think. Nice clip. Wow. I think that you have a really good perspective on how to position and how to angle. Obviously, you're not perfect at it by any means. You need to practice those just like anybody else, but it is a strong point for you. And the good news is that even when you do mess it up, when I ask you what should you be doing differently, you always have the answer. Get her, get her, get her. Nice. Woohoo! Hit the Ibiari, hit the pylon. This is what I talked about, right? You hit the pulse, you hit the clip or whatever, these guys just melt to you. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Nice. This is good, this is good. Okay, let's keep going here. Uh-oh. I have a feeling I know what's going to happen here.
I picked this one because on defense, we absolutely crumble.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's watch a few more fights in this attack, and then we'll go to that defense. Okay.
Sure.
What do you think of this angle?
I think without my team pushing up, it's dangerous, and the Orissa's already looking where I blinked, so she saw me.
Sure, but your team will be pushing up soon, so I would just be cautious right now, but I don't think there's a much better option here. And so, yeah, you do the right thing, right? Avoid the Orisa, wait, shoot here. I'm telling you, these angles are good. This is so good. I wouldn't go back this way. I would go back and shoot from here, or you could even wrap the stairs from here. But yeah, I mean, this is good. Yeah, there you go, see, there you go.
See, they switched to this, and I crumble here. This cast just, yeah.
I don't know, this looks like he's having a hard time, at least to start. Surely you guys just cap immediately off of this. Alright, let's see it. Good. Angle and shoot. She's dead. Nice pulse. Find the Zen. Nice clip. Wow. Nice clip as well. Nice blink melee. This is good. Again, the angle was good. The timing was good. I am always going to pick on bronze, silver, gold, etc. players' positioning and timing because it will always need work. But I actually think it's, compared to some of your other issues, it is a strength of yours, at least so far in this game.
That's good to know. I was actually always worried about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a very small sample size, right? For a stats guy, you probably know that we can't really draw any major conclusions from these, and so I will always have that as something to be aware of. But it is so far not a major concern. Okay, any questions so far?
No, I think you've answered or at least given me new things to think about. So that's
sure. Okay. Let's keep going here. Angle here is fine. And this is something that if you really want to work on your aim. So we talked a lot about your movement in Deathmatch. Have you heard the term trigger discipline before?
Oh, 100%. And I know I struggle with it.
And you struggle with it, right? So this is where this is something you need to go into a game and you need to practice your trigger discipline. Pause the clip mid-fight through. Stop spraying the walls, you know? You're not a punk kid, you know? And the thing is that's not bad mechanics. That's lazy mechanics, right? And not even like lazy brain. It's just like you haven't trained yourself to be attentive to that. So we'll say trigger discipline can train Deathmatch. And this is what makes Deathmatch great is you could practice the blink movement that we talked about earlier, and you could practice your trigger discipline. You could take turns. In fact, I'd like to do that when we do the live coaching is like, well, maybe for half of the round or one of the death matches, we work on your movement. The other one, we work on your trigger discipline, and just don't worry about the movement, right? But you can also practice this in ranked as well. Okay, let's keep going. This is where bronze, silver positioning. Initial start, good. You get put under pressure, you kind of panic. What should you do here?
I could have blinked through and maybe hid behind that truck over there, or tried to get back up the left-hand side.
Yep, you could have gone this way as well. Yep. Frankly, you might have been able to just kind of stay here and kind of keep the Pharah busy. It's scary, but this is where like I think you lose confidence in your ability to duel people. But you should be able to keep a Pharah busy without dying immediately. You should. If you can't, it's going to be how am I moving? How am I using cover? I need to get better at those things.
Yeah, there are some Pharahs I absolutely break their ankles, and then there are other Pharahs where it's just like, oh, well, there we go.
Yeah. Now, as long as you're not being stupid with it, it's something you need to get better at. Because this is a lot worse of an angle, and now you don't have your recall, and you probably should have died there as well. Okay. Go back. Yeah. Good. Recall. Blink for safety. Good stuff. Go back. Shoot again. So this part of the map is a little awkward. You've noticed there's a lot of downtime, but there's not a whole lot that you could do about it. I think you're doing fine as it is. Good. Yeah. Good. Good.
That Ilari switched deliberately to Moira, and she hunted me the rest of this match.
Fan behavior. You could see it again here with your blinks. Like, we won't obsess too much more of it. But, like, right here, you must blink. She's looking at you. If she hits a direct, you're dead. One direct. And so your focus here becomes your shots instead of your movement, and that kills you. Tracer's biggest advantage is not her damage, it's her movement. Right? It's finding those windows to shoot while still prioritizing your movement here. This is a good angle. This does show you that your timing is not perfect, though, because you can look at the context of the battlefield right now, right?
Yeah, my thought was stall the payload, but it didn't work.
Sure. So stall the payload when you absolutely have to, when things are closer for your team. You get what I'm saying? So, like, wait, your idea is good, but wait 3 or 4 seconds to do it. Do it at the last second.
Gotcha. Okay.
Full swim attempt is good. Grab the Mega. Yeah, and then obviously it's just because your timing is screwed up, basically you end up having to recall to a bad angle instead of being able to play here or play here and so on, and that basically screws you over. Okay, let's get into some live coaching here. That work for you?
Sure. Yeah, that works.
Okay, any questions about anything we talked about?
No, it's just going to be the implementation of what we've talked about. That's probably going to be the difficult.
Yes, 100%, 100%. So let's can you stream through Discord?
Overwatch.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Perfect. Got it. So jump in the unranked deathmatch, and let's. What one do you want to start with? The blink movement or the trigger discipline?
I think I don't. Which would you say is the bigger problem?
I would say it's probably the blink movement. Frankly, the
Okay.
deathmatch free fall right there. Yeah. Let's do this.
There we go.
Turn up your stream on here. So your goal here is to not even worry about your mechanics whatsoever, and just worry about, okay, they're looking at me, they're chambering a shot, I'm going to blink move. Behind them, to the left, to the right, I don't really care that much. You will get better with time. Just practice the movement. Like even this, like right now, go into the practice range. And just while we're waiting, just move around. But shoot at the blink, shoot, blink, shoot. Just on the bots that are moving. They're crappy targets, but just like while we're waiting. And depending on how the queue time is, if we don't have a game in like 3 or 4 minutes, I'll actually jump to a custom game with you and we'll practice that. Go over where the bots are moving. Off to your right. Yeah, that direction. Go that direction. Go with the bots there. Pretend they're, save your blinks. Blink once, shoot. Blink once, shoot. Blink once, shoot. That's kind of like the rhythm you want to get into, right? Good. So blink. So here's what I want the rhythm to be. I want you to pause right now. Don't shoot. I want you to blink any direction. Turn, pause. Turn your crosshair to the target. And then shoot. Any target. Pick any one you want. Pause. Blink. Aim your crosshair. Shoot. Blink. Pause. Shoot. Pause. There you go. Oh, nice. We're in.
Nice.
So again, your goal here is just to move. Don't worry about shooting. Move. Worry about whether that's your ADs or your blinks. I'm gonna let you decide how you want to apply that. This guy, 2 blinks with Life Weaver. Oh my days, I could not.
Oh Lord,
I could not handle that. All right, how are you gonna move? Be sneaky. Be sneaky. There you go. Look at that. Look at that. Look at all the shots that you're dodging here. Look at this. When they look at you, you move. When they look at you, you move. Good. Almost. You had 1 blink in the chamber there.
Yeah.
Oh, you can press space, actually, to skip this up. There you go.
I'm barely awake.
You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. Nothing like Tracer to wake you up. Let's move. Let's move. Find a target. Start the duel. Get ready to move. Ooh. Move. Good. Repetition, 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 right? Move. Good. Blue move. Move right now. There it is. There it is. There. That's it. Right there. Right there. Right there. I know it threw off your aim, but it's going to throw off their aim more. And the better you get, the better you're going to get at movement. That blink right through to right behind him was perfect. It's exactly what we're looking for. Spacebar. Spacebar.
Awesome.
You should be able to skip these kill cams, I think, with spacebar. Haha. To be fair, you didn't have time to respond there.
Yeah.
All right, get him. Good pulse. The goat. All right. Move. It's all right. Move. Good. 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 That was good. That was good. Good stuff. All right. Get ready to dodge. Find a target and dodge. It's okay. Do you notice it's the same targets that you were struggling with in Havana? Remember that?
Yes.
It's the exact same targets as those glass cannons, right? That if you don't move, they will destroy you. But if you do move, you will destroy them. There's no in between. Good movement there. Nice blink. You see that? He rocked the wall. He tried to rock you and you're just not there. That was brilliant movement. It's harder in Deathmatch because there's always so many things shooting at you at once, but it's still a good practice ground. I'll show you another way to train it as well after this round is done. Alright, you get ready to move here. I want you to take that duel, even though you're only got one blink. I want to make this blink count. Nice tracking, wow. Alright, save up that blink. Let's go, let's go. Good blink. A little slow, but good blink. You got one more. Almost. Remember, the first priority is if they're looking at you, first priority is to blink, not shoot. Then
Gotcha.
shoot.
Okay.
Blink first, then shoot. Blink first, then shoot. They look at you. If they're not looking at you, you shoot first. The Zen's looking at you. Get ready. Find him, then blink. Find him and blink right here. Look at that. Nice job. Find a target, blink first. Find a target, blink first. Get ready, because he's going to be looking at you. So that situation right there, we needed a blink or a recall right there. Because look at it from his kill cam. Just watch it for a second. Right? That was window right there. Who's very vulnerable to you blinking either to the side or to behind him. You needed to move there.
I see. Okay.
Well, blink first. Don't shoot. Blink right here. Get ready. There it is. That was good. Nice. Nice. That was perfect. Right when they come out of the burrow, you immediately blink, dodge the shot. Get ready to blink. Wait for it. Blink first. Wait for it. Get ready to blink. Find a target, blink first. Find a target, blink first. Blink again. Good. Can also blink through them. You got to think like, you ever played, shoot, what is it called? Not Bloodborne. Dark Souls. You know, it's like the dodge rolls, you know? You got to time those rolls right there. First thing you should have done, as soon as he turns, blink first, shoot second, right?
Yeah, I see. I was trying to pulse and I should have blinked.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Because even with pulse, like, you have to be super careful. Blink first. As soon as he turns, blink. There it is. You're breaking his ankles. Break his ankles again. Ah, you greeted the damage. You see it? You greeted the damage. You turned the corner.
That, yeah.
First thing should have been the blink. Okay. Let's do this. We've got a few extra minutes. I'm going to send you my battle attack. I want you to add me.
Okay. Right.
And what we're going to do here is I'm going to set up a custom game. And I'm going to do general. And actually, I'm going to do this as well. All right. A second. Did you get my tag?
Yeah, I just sent the friend request.
Okay, let's see if I got it. I don't see it. Try it one more time. So hashtag. No, there's an extra I in there. I'm an idiot. That's why it wasn't working.
I wondered. I was like,
yes,
that's
Spilio. You know how it goes.
channeling your inner Italian. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's Got it.
There we go.
Okay, let me get you in here. And then let's make sure that I have my... Actually, we could just do this. Do this. And then let's do maps, Black Forest. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. You can stop streaming if you want. Here's what I want you to do. I'm going to go Zen, you go Tracer.
Okay.
And all I want you to do is your focus is going to be going exactly what we talked about earlier. When I look at you, I want you to blink, then shoot. When I look at you, blink, then shoot. When I look at you, blink, then shoot. You're going to have extra HP, so if I headshot you or whatever, and I'm going to have extra HP as well, you're not going to be able to get the kill, or I'm not going to be able to get the kill on you immediately, but eventually we are going to whittle each other down. You're going to run out of blinks a little bit. That's okay. Don't worry about it. But the first things I want you to do is blink, then shoot. Blink, then shoot. Blink, then shoot. Actually, I'm going to make one adjustment here. One adjustment. Actually, I'm going to make it 0. And then let's do this here. And then this here. Okay, let's try this again. So I'm going to have normal HP because I want you to get the dopamine of actually getting the kill if you earned it, right?
Okay.
But I don't. You have to worry about getting one shot. I want you to worry more about your movement. So blink, shoot, blink, shoot. When I look at you, you got to shoot. So that means you got to have your eyes focused on my hitbox, right? If I'm looking the other way, you don't blink, right? But if I am looking at you, you have to blink and move. Okay. And if you got a buddy that you can do 1v1s with, this is a great way to practice it as well. Okay, let's do this. So you notice your first priority there was to shoot? Good. Now you can shoot. So you blink, then shoot. Your first priority is to blink, though. Shoot. There you go. 4 HP. 4 HP. that was good. First priority is if I'm looking at you, first priority is to blink.
Okay. I don't know this man.
That's okay. Blink first. There it is. That was better. Nice. You were a little slow, but you were like, oh, I gotta blink.
Yeah.
Because I was looking. That was good. Yeah, that was it. You just dodged 2 of my shots. Beautiful. Good stuff. Keep going. Keep going. Don't get sucked into trying to win the duel. Always think, if he's looking at me, blink first. And absolutely pulse me if you have it. Nice shot. Blink first. Yes! Totally threw me off. Good stuff. That was so good. That was really, really good. Do you feel the difference here? Do you feel like how you're not getting shot quite as much?
I do.
Good stuff. I want you to, when you can, if you can blink to either deep left, deep right, or behind me, that's better than blinking backwards usually. Because that way I have to move my crosshair. If you blink backwards, I don't have to move my crosshair. You're still in front of me.
Makes sense.
There you go. I saw. So you're keeping a little too far away. Play more on cover and blink behind me if you can. Good. Good stuff. Good use of cover as well.
Cover is life.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people forget about it with a character like Tracer. Good try with the pulse. You almost got me. I got lost in the sauce, though. The blinks are good. That's good. Good, 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 good. Let's play to 10. I want to see 10 kills here. Surely I can get one. Good, blink. I almost got you with the right click there. Good stuff. Do you notice how this is feeling less and less competitive the more you play?
Yeah, it's it was anxiety inducing the first go round.
Nah, but you're getting better at it. And there it is. There's a crosshair movement I had to go for. Like I have zero chance. Now obviously you have all the health, obviously, right?
Obvious.
But the reason why I'm giving you the health is that you could see how much more health you're keeping the more and more you practice, and how much quicker you're killing me. Right? You're focusing on your movement, and yet you're still killing me.
And I'm not averse to getting Pavloved like you're doing. Like it's it's working.
Right. Well, it's not just about the Pavlov. It's about like having an objective measure of like, oh wow, I have more HP than I did last time, or he's dying a little bit faster. There it is, like that right there. I haven't hit. That's my first shot I hit on you. Why? Because that first blink really threw me off. Good stuff. Let's stop right there. I want you to do that in Deathmatch, or even consider trying that in ranked. It's going to be a little bit awkward, but the important thing that we're trying to practice here, why we're practicing this, we're trying to practice you not seeing a target and immediately starting shooting if the target is looking at you. Because Tracer does really low damage if you don't move, because you're going to die instantly. Ashe,
yes.
Zen, Hanzo, Cassidy, freaking Ana only has to hit 2 shots basically and you're dead, right? Like every character out damages you if you stand still. What you do is you don't stand still and you make them move your crosshair and you hit more shots than they do. And you do that not through having superior aim necessarily, but having superior movement. Movement is everything to Tracer. Okay. I want you to practice that. I want you to practice the trigger discipline. Obviously, we talked about some of the fundamentals of getting closer on angles, practicing reading the kill feed, making decisions about it. There's a lot of habits I want you to practice. I would recommend practicing those one at a time. It could be one per day, one per game. However you would like to do it, it's totally up to you. Do you have any questions?
No, you've given me a lot to chew on.
Okay.
In all honesty, I came in thinking the exact opposite was true of everything we've talked about. So this has done a complete 180 for me, if I'm being honest.
Good. I think that what your problems with your positioning and timing, you know how to play Tracer. You're just not always consistent in terms of doing that. So you do need to revisit those fundamentals. But I actually think in many ways that your fundamentals can be improved mechanically as well. And don't let anyone fool you. You can practice mechanics. You can drill mechanics, doing exactly like what we did there, exactly what we did with the deathmatch. It's not just going into Kovacs and aim training, right? You gotta play the character.
Right.
All right. Keep me updated with your practice.